Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Tura outdoor wall sconce. This is a 30-25-81. You can use this inside. There's actually a matching pendant, which I have next to me here, that's we consider indoor-outdoor. Just because these are so beautiful, there's no reason why you can't use them inside. And if you use them inside, you can actually have them pointed up. So that's just another thing to think about. Outside, they have to be pointed down. But let's get into details in a second. So, like I said, this is the 30-25-81. We're talking about the medium size here. There's one smaller, there's one larger, and let's get into the height. So, size of the height itself is going to be the distance from the bottom right here to the top of the back plate, and that's coming in at 16.4. The width, that's going to be from here to here, farthest point to farthest point, that's coming in at 9.6, and the length is basically going to be, let's see, width, length, height, width, depth. So 10.7. And they call it length, but in reality it's going to be the depth of it. So from the wall itself coming out to here, that's coming out at 10.7. So those are all the things you need to know. The mounting height, that's the distance from the bottom of the fixture, which is, remember, it's going to be here, to the middle of the electrical outlet plate. That is coming in at mounting height 13.2. Okay? And then your back plate on this is going to be 6.5 inches tall and 5 inches wide. It's going to go over a standard 4-inch junction box like that. I want to show you a little more information about that and how we do it. We look at the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen, midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So it's going to show you full parts list, and we'll go over all that. And it's going to come with a packet like this and a universal mounting kit that has all these little holes in it. You can barely see it, but anyway, it's a round mounting kit, and it'll allow this to go onto a variety of boxes. So take advantage of the drawings that are on that page too, because it's going to show you how the back plate setup is there. Okay, and this is beautiful hammered metal. It's aluminum. I love Hubbardton Forge stuff, and I actually love this whole Tura line, and especially the pendant. I think we're going to sell a lot of those for inside use more than outside use, only because it's so cool. Okay, why don't we talk about a few other things. Let's talk about it's 6.3 pounds, so it's super light. This is the glass for it, so we'll check that out. I'm going to be talking more about Hubbardton Forge's opal glass. It's an opaque glass. You're not going to be able to see through it. I'll get into big detail on this a little later in the video. And then if you guys are in California and you are required with a permit, whatever you guys are doing as far as permitting goes, to do a California Title 24 compliant, that's going to give you a setup like this. So instead of a setup like that we're all used to. So just drop me a quick email and I can kind of guide you through that as far as customs go. So you would email me and say you're doing a 30-25-81 or the two smaller sizes, and you need to comply with California Title 24 compliancy, and what can you do for me? And then I'm going to send your email through Hubbardton Forge's customs department. We're going to come back with an answer that should be able to solve your problem. Okay? It's always free to ask those questions. Why don't we get into lamping on this? Actually, before we do that really quick, in that parts list, it's going to come with this. And this is a retaining ring tool. And to hold the glass on, it's held on by this retaining ring. Okay? And for some reason, that comes with this on the basis that maybe your hand is too big to get inside that glass, but that's a big piece of glass. I think anyone's hand can get inside this and put that retaining ring on this to get it on there. But this is going to be there in the box anyway. If you want to use it, you basically take the retaining ring and it goes into, there we go, a slot like that. It goes up inside the glass, kind of takes the place of your hand basically, and then you're just going to screw it on like that. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey, goes on, stays on, not in there anymore, and you take this and you put it into a junk drawer someplace in your house, okay? But it'll be there in that parts list, so just so you know what this is. And there you go, okay? Let's get into another thing. Let's get into lamping on this. So like I said before, it's going to be using medium base screw-in bulb. We've all had this in our life. A19 is the recommended size bulb for this, okay? So an A19 is basically just the regular size of a regular bulb you and I grew up with. This is an LED version, this is an incandescent version. This is also an LED version, but this is a larger bulb. This is called an A20. I don't see any reason why you can't put an A20 LED in this, because it'll fit into the glass in this size fixture and the larger one. The smaller version of this, maybe not, but you should be able to get this in there if you want to. And this usually comes out in the marketplace almost always I found it up to 150 watt equivalent possibly 200 watt equivalent if you really need to pump light out of these. You know, if you guys are doing a hospitality or at your own home and you're trying to find your dog out in the yard and you need light to be way out there, you can go pretty bright with this using the right LEDs. When you get into incandescent, your max is going to be 100 watts for a regular incandescent. But when you get into LEDs, there's no max because they don't generate heat, they generate light, and heat is what that max is all about. So when I talk about the color of light, I always talk about it in terms of Kelvin. 2700 Kelvin, that's going to be a warm kind of a sunset look. That's the same color that comes out of a halogen bulb, just so you know. Way on the other side of that is something called daylight. And daylight, it sounds warm, but it's not warm. That's that kind of bluish white light. Hospital waiting room, cold, overcast day in Vermont like today. So that's going to be 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. What we like to use in our showroom, pretty much throughout the whole place, is called warm white, and that's going to be 3,000 Kelvin. And that's totally easy to find. You should be able to find bulbs for this at your grocery store, a CVS, a Home Depot, a Ace Hardware. You don't need to go online to do it. They are everywhere because it's such a common socket in the marketplace. There are bulbs in pretty much any store you're going to go into. So that 3,000 Kelvin is what we like to use, and that's considered warm white. That's the light that's coming down on my hands right now. Nice incandescent glow that we like to use here. So as far as bulbs go, it's also a dimmable fixture, don't forget. So if you want to use this like on a, let's say an indoor porch or the back of your house where you're going to be having a lot of furniture out there and you want to hang out with your friends after dinner and it starts to get dark and you want to put this on a dimmer. I think that'd be good. That'd be great. So if you had this on a dimmer, you could dim it down to a soft glow, almost like, you know, candlelight. And that would be the same for the pendant that I talked about earlier. But make sure that if you're using LEDs that you just tell your installer that you're going to be using LEDs so they put the correct switch on the wall for you. So I want to touch on Hubbardton Forge's glass for just a second. Hubbardton Forge's opal glass is not just another piece of white glass. This is actually hand-blown glass. All of their glass is hand-blown. And to begin with, it's actually a clear piece of glass to start with. And they come in, they blow a second layer on the inside of white glass. Then they come back and they do a third step where they sandblast the entire outside. So you'll notice when you get these in your hands, they actually have layers of glass on them on the ends. You can see them on these two pieces. And it gives it this really soft, semi-transparent, kind of milky quality. It's a soft glowing piece. Really, really pretty. You know, they're really obsessed about details at Hubbardton Forge, and a lot of people don't. I don't think they appreciate it out in the world, but you appreciate it because that's why you guys are here watching this video. There you go. Let's talk about something else. Same kind of idea. They only use aircraft-grade aluminum to make all of their outdoor lighting, and the reason they do that is because aluminum holds up better than any other material in harsh, extreme weather. When you go out and you're out in the world, look up and you'll see those jet airlines flying up there way above your head. They're all made out of aluminum for a reason, because it holds up beautifully, it welds beautifully, it doesn't rust, it's very light, and it's just the best material to use outside. So on top of that, they have developed these outdoor baked epoxy powder coats that can go over this and make them pretty much indestructible, and we're going to talk about that right now. So how they do this, you'll notice in the picture next to me, there's a picture of a woman, and she's actually shooting powdered finish at the fixture. And they take the fixture, let's say this is the fixture to begin with, okay? They wire it up with a wire here, a wire coming down. They run a small amount of electricity through it to make it positive. And what that does, it makes it attract everything around it. So when she's over there spraying little bits of powdered finish, what it's going to do, it's going to go over the entire fixture. It's going to get into every nook, every cranny, top, bottom, sides, the whole thing. They're going to take that fixture, they're going to put it into an oven. That's going to melt that down and make it into a hard epoxy shell. And it makes it, you know, incredibly strong. Because they do this, and these things have been tested in these wind chambers where they have shot, you know, salty seawater at them, basically, because that's what's going to happen on a beach, right, where a lot of these things are going to end up. They had to really do that to make sure that they're going to hold up for you. And because they have done that, they offer the best warranty for the entire lighting industry. And you can see that over on the left-hand side of your screen. Limited lifetime warranty for residential use, and check it out, and it'll really make you feel better about their products. Okay. Moving on from there, why don't we talk about our showroom in Vermont. We have over 350 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We actually have a What's on Display page on our website. It's over in the red tabs over on the left-hand side of your screen, so you can open up that and check it out. Showroom has also a clearance center. So clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's an amazing deal for you. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you guys are going to come visit us, do me a favor, bring a big SUV, if you can, if you have one, only because the boxes are set up for shipping. Measure everything you can think of. So measure with a measuring tape, measure your ceilings, measure counters, tables, distances between junction boxes and things like ceilings, because if you're looking, you want to make sure when you're looking at these things that they're going to be able to be used by you for your needs, okay? And then also bring an iPad. If you guys are doing a project and you have a tablet laying around at home, take pictures with that. Take pictures and you can bring that tablet in and we can go through all those pictures together and look and see what you guys are doing, and I can help you out on that, okay? So when you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else does that. Some larger items, generally big things on pallets and custom things, are going to be non-returnable. We'll always tell you that on the page for it, so just keep your eyes peeled for that. And then on top of all that, we offer a rush program. So in order for you to get all of these different finishes, Hubbardton Forge doesn't stock. It takes generally about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. We can cut that time in half, and it is super, super inexpensive. A lot of people don't even know about it. If you want to know about it, the best thing to do is just drop me a quick email, sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont. You can also call 802-446-2400 during business hours. And so I'm here every day except Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time if you guys want to talk to me. And then you can email us 7 days a week at sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont. So I think that kind of wraps things up on this. You guys have any questions at all, let me know. Thank you for stopping in today. Take care. Bye-bye.